Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recap Daily Teachings. Before we start, quick disclaimer, anything we discuss is just for educational purpose, nothing is financial advice. Alright guys, didn't do a video since July 4th, just been busy and the market was not doing much, but today was definitely was an amazing day on the market. Today was gap down, Trump news, midday Trump conference, and then the calls on the market. A lot of news. Was a crazy day, but middle of the day is when we started to see the big moves. We'll talk about the AI bounces. A lot of charts are setting up. If it's just a one-day bounce or a multi-day bounce, we'll take a look at that. But before we do that, let's see how we planned the day, how we traded today, what were our setups. Definitely memory was a big winner for us. We'll talk about the morning short, midday calls. A lot to learn in today's video, so watch it. So just a quick introduction. If you want a more introduction, go make sure you watch our other introduction videos to understand what we do, how we do it. Ripster Cloud System, MTF Cloud System, my teachings on swing trading, day trading, investing. You can go to ripstereducation.com, see thousands of lives have been changed. We trade this system in our live community, one of the largest online trading communities, of course, and also for our swing and trading, we have a Tenet Research AI app that you can also use. Anyways, that was a quick introduction. Let's start with the marketplace. All right, so let's take a look here first at so we're going to start with the market, what SPY QQQ was doing today. So let's start with SPY QQQ. Let's see what SPY QQQ what was happening in the market today. So you could see this move, what happened here. So we exactly shorted this and then we also called it. I'm going to show you both. So if you're new here, there are a few strategies we use. Let's take a look here at SPY. We'll take a look at that. Let's go back in the pre-market plan here. So pre-market plan on SPY QQQ, the pre-market plan on SPY QQQ was VIX level 1730. If VIX holds 17, watch out. That means VIX strategy says if it holds 17, we will try to make money by shorting SPY, because SPY is sitting at 2021 MTF, QQQ sitting at 5055 MTF. So those are we combine all our concepts. That's how we trade. Only bounce if 512 hold, VIX breaks that level, and if AI and tech are curling. Remember, memory was gapping down and then it bounced, and we were watching the market based upon our concepts. So right at the open, I was initially we had this bounce. This had a bounce right here. So it was looking like a long, but then came, I told the traders that we gotta watch this 10 a.m. trend time, 10:40 algo. 10 a.m. trend time, 10:40 algo. So as soon as I see this, I see this short here, right here, 512 breaking down. I see the market weakness. Not only that, at that time, VIX, remember I talked about that 17 level on VIX right here. Right at 10:10, the VIX started to push. VIX started to push. I can show you side by side here. So VIX started to push, and that was a short setup. You could buy options, make 2-3 times your lot options, or you could trade ETFs, whatever you want to trade. You could trade futures. So as soon as I see that on SPY, I tell the traders. I also not only in the community, I also tweeted about it. Let me see if I can show you that. When I tweeted that setup here, you can see that I tweeted that as well, rejecting right here 2021. This is the short. I told the traders to start shorting here, and then 21 MTF, they can hold it. So that was the short right here. So told the traders short was 2021 MTF. Traders bought the puts, traders shorted it, took it all the way down here. It kind of bounced. I told the traders reshort versus 743 right here. Even when we got the first flush, told the traders to reshort versus 743, and then that we flushed into the support, and my target was 739. I told the traders to cover some at that 739 there. Then we started to bounce. We started to cover our short. That's fine. But this was the setup A. The puts went 100%. Short. Even if you risk $1, you made decent $4 there on the downside here. And the same thing was for QQQ. Same setup. QQQ short came a little later. but the better setup was SPY. QQQ was a 512 short, and MTF was a support here. So you could trade Nasdaq futures, or you could trade SPY options, whatever you want. But then came. So this was our shorts, right? So I just explained how we shorted it. This is where VIX started to bounce, or VIX strategy. You put your stops here, you buy the puts, whatever you want to do, you can do it. And our traders in the community really did really good here on that short. And you can see that everything timestamp guidance. And just like I told in the pre-market, if VIX bounces, we look for the short, and that was the short on SPY. So that was the short. Now how do you do the curls, right? So let's look at the curls here on SPY. So same concepts, guys. You use Ripster Clouds, you use VIX, you watch the market. So as soon as I see this pushing, and Trump was speaking, and we have so many tools in the community. We have, Trump is live, we have news bars, scanners, we have a bunch of tools, like 5-6 screen shares, everything free for the members, $600-700 a month, completely free. And we were listening to the Trump, our news bars were on. As soon as I see this curl, I send the alert to the traders. Although thousands of traders are on our trading floor, they continuously guide each other, help each other. We have a very nice environment there. So right where was a curl, 512 curls. I told the traders, solid curls, move the stops up. MTF magnet from 512 calls, 3450 MTF magnet hit. So you could long there, and that's what the traders longed. We did the 512 calls, and at that calls also gave us some other trades like Micron and SNDK. We'll talk about it. And at this point of time, you could see that VIX was dumping of 18. So that gives you higher confidence. So VIX 18, you get long SPY, you get long QQQ, wait for your MTF magnet, take profits there, done for the day. So you two trades, short and the curls, and no hindsight. I just showed you the pre-market planning. I showed you the tweets. I also showed you, and this was the before tweet, and you could see that then this was the later after that. And also, of course, there was a 1040 algo as well. The 1040 algo kind of flushed it or more under. So two setups, two trades, SPY QQQ, Nasdaq, ES futures, Nasdaq futures, whatever you want to trade, you could trade that. That was our setup today. That was how you do it. We do it thousands of times. Learn the Ripster Clouds, run MTF Clouds, learn the VIX strategy, 930 concepts, 10 AM concept, use all of them together to make high conviction trade. So this is how you trade SPY QQQ for living. Also did a detailed webinar on that. Let's go to the next one. All right, so next one we're going to take a look at is Micron. Let's see what Micron was doing here. So Micron, we had a big gap down today. On the Micron, I told the trader it is bouncing off 50-55 MTF. If AI names hold, long versus 900. Long versus 900. The plan I already gave in the pre-market. Now there are few opportunities to long that. We'll take a look. The first opportunity is if you long it right at the open. That's your first opportunity. If you miss that long, if you're missing that long, then you take your profits. Then came the 512 calls. I told the traders I was on the voice as well. I wish I can show you my voice transcript. Let me see if I can show you that the voice transcript, so you can see that what I speak on Micron. Let's see. So let's see here. Yeah, well, the voice transcript is not available, but anyways, let's see here. So Micron, let me see. So I told the traders that this is the 512 calls. Let me show you the alert here. So this is the call alert, 930. So traders got long, and we had a long as well on Micron. So when then I saw that call, I actually had already started buying 618. This is the call alert I sent to the traders on the Micron. So when we saw that call right here, 928, so already buying those calls. So we longed that calls on the Micron. This is called 512 calls. This is called 3450 calls. Ran towards 946, pulled back, then again pushed higher as well. I did tell the traders in the after hours that we might see the gap up, and that's what's happening after overnight. It's kind of running higher there, overnight gapping up. So that's how you do it. You see this is the 3450 bounce. So this is a 3450 bounce. You can do a starter. You know that QQQ is curling. I just showed you. Its market is kind of turning bullish. So you get long on those setups over there. So that was the first bounce, and that was the call. And we in the community, I continuously guided my traders that what Micron is doing. I also talked about this flag. There was a flag setting up later in the day, so that ran up a little bit as well. So a lot of traders we are holding overnight here on the Micron because was expecting that we will kind of gap up a little bit. That's what I told Korea bullish. I told my traders Korea is looking bullish. So very good opportunity. My whole focus was these memory names. So Micron was amazing. Let's look at the similar setup that we did on SNDK. That was another amazing setup. Let's look at SNDK. So what was SNDK doing, right? So SNDK was same setup. SNDK was a call. I sent that call as well. I was on the voice. I told the traders a lot of good setups setting up. Market is curling. Ripster 512 call, 3450 bounce. This is the lot I sent at 1625. You can see that. Zoom in. This is my calls, and we were playing SPY calls, QQQ calls, Micron calls, SNDK calls. And it ran 80 bucks, and then it was getting tight. So I told the traders that SNDK is getting tight. SNDK is getting tight. Relative strength, best one so far. Continuous guidance on SNDK and Micron. SNDK was much better than SNDK. You can see that I sold end of the day 1727. Let me show where I entered. Yeah, actually I was talking about I don't know. I guess I was tired. I was showing you my SNDK entries on a Micron chart, but this was the SNDK. You can understand that same thing. Let me find you the Micron entries there. All right, so that was the Micron that I traded from right here over the way up. And then this was SNDK that we traded from there. I had another entry there on SNDK. I had, let's see, where was it? Yeah, then I sold here. This was over SNDK sells right there, 512 calls. And what I try to do is, and I try to continuously guide my traders as well, how we are doing those both SNDK and Micron trades. These were some of the Micron cells that we had. So you could see that similar setup, calls, Micron, call all the way to MTF, sells all the way onto the MTF magnet, 3450 calls, 512 calls. And similarly, we had SNDK, 512 calls all the way to the end of the day. So those were amazing trades today, guys, and it was a continuous guidance to the traders live on the voice, and it's nothing crazy. You guys use the Ripster Clouds, you can do that too. So just amazing trade with the memory stocks today. Very profitable day. Let's go to the next one. So here's the recap again of those trades. 512 calls. So both same setups, 512 calls, 3450 bounce, 3450 bounce, push. This kind of stopped out a little bit, but then we held for the flag, continue to push. Beautiful trade. Hopefully you guys can find this setup too. All right, let's look at the next setups here. Let's take a look here. So next we're going to just quickly talk about Tesla. Let's see what Tesla was doing today. Tesla, I told the traders, is a short today. I told the traders, let's look at the pre-market planning. Pre-market planning on Tesla was clearly clear. 400 psychological trade. If market bounces, look for trade versus 400, neutral bias. But as soon as I saw that 400 is rejecting, I told the traders 400 no long shorts. Shorted, just watch the pre-market lows, target 390. So we watched the 396, we hit our target of 390 almost, not completely, but we did hit 391. So that was a 3450 rejection short right here. That was a pre-market lows break right here. Confirm the short, you ride the short all the way down, get out right here. Very profitable trade. That was Tesla. I did mention the bear flag to the traders as well. All right, so next one we're going to look at is PENG. PENG was an earning play. Let's look at our pre-market planning. PENG was also a beautiful setup. Let's take a look here at what was happening with the PENG. If you go to Tannet Research and you look up at PENG, what PENG is doing, you will see that PENG is growing revenue 47%, EPS growing 78%. Continuous revenue growth, EPS growth. They're an IT service infrastructure that provides design, deploy, management for the compute for AI data center factories. So basically AI involvement, and they are regularly growing their revenue and EPS. A lot of volume today. We'll be watching day 2 as well, but let's see what was our plan for day 1 today on PENG. PENG was an amazing play, only earning play today. Earnings season is coming up. Make sure you watch our earnings webinar. Earnings is where we make most of our profitable trades. Earnings, PENG beats by 0.30, beats by revenue, guides higher. Bullish bias to long versus previous day high. 1 hour MTF, no go under 65. So pretty clear planning. You know, I was busy with the other names, but a lot of my traders took the PENG right at the open. Right at the open, the traders took that long at the PENG. You know, DT2 took long there, and Emerald took a long as well. You can see the traders taking long. You know, everybody knows that I was pretty bullish on the PENG. So anyways, the initial move was this 930 into the move. Then when I came in, I told the traders that PENG, you have to watch this this curl on the 512. This is what I mentioned when I was on the voice. I mentioned that it's a good level to trade PENG. Let's take a look here. Let's look at the timestamp guidance. No hide site here. So PENG moved nicely. I told the traders this is the call. This is called the 512 call. This is where I told them on the voice to get in. Then I told them to put their stops at 71.70. I gave two bullish targets. One was 78. Other target was 80. And we went from 73 to 78 to 80. So almost $7 move from Ripster 512 call. This is a different kind of call. This is a pullback, retest 512, push higher, and also 8-9 ribbon is being tested on the 10-minute. So beautiful trade. You can see that my guidance 78, 80 target, kept moving the stops up step by step. Pre-market planning, that's how you make A+ trades. You ride as long as the cloud hold. Nothing like Ripster Cloud System. Even if you raised $1,000 here, you made $5 grand. That was the kind of trade. Beautiful trade done by a whole community. Let's go to the next one. All right, so next one I'm going to look up is quickly, don't have much time, but I will talk about NBIS. NBIS was my top play. This morning I made it as a top day one. You see that I usually highlight my plays. This was our top day one. I also tweeted about NBIS as our top day one play. You can see that. You know, why was it a top day one play? Because I always look at the daily chart. I also wanted to swing it, but you know, I did tell the traders that you can swing it, but I kind of missed myself. But let's take a look here on NBIS. NBIS had a decent huge pullback right here, right into the support. But there was some bullish news on AI today. Meta was building a new data center for more compute. So there was some bullish news here. Also, something I noticed that in our rotation tracker that data centers were holding strong. Neo clouds were mostly strong today. If you look at all those names, mostly everything was strong except CLSK, Wolf, NBIS, HUT, IREN, all of them were strong. So we will be looking for the Neo clouds to continue to bounce into tomorrow, but they were strong. So that's why I told the traders that NBIS is your best play. Watch on the pullback or for the NBIS. Let's see if I can show you the transcript here. You can see that my transcript was NBIS is what I'm watching for the pullback. You know, super duper strength on NBIS. I want NBIS. If you watch NBIS pulls back, I'm going to put some limit orders if it pulls back. If you get the NBIS, hold it, right? So you see how bullish I was on NBIS. And if you look at the pre-market plan, long over yesterday's, if yesterday lows hold, 200 magnet above, NBIS did the same exact thing. It gave you a pullback right here, 512 calls, same midday calls, just like how we traded SNDK. You saw that how it did a 512 call, went all the way to the MTF magnet. In the morning long, you can see that I said best name. RGB added at 199 dip, and I gave the target 210, 212, 210 target hit, 212 target hit. You know, then I gave the stops of 200. You see it bounced off 200 psychological level, then went on to push all the way to 218, completed the MTF magnet setup. So beautiful trade on NBIS. You got to be ready. You got to have your fixed focus list ready a night before. That's how you make good trades. All right. Wanted to cover some more setups. You know, we were trying to long Marvel today. Marvel kind of did not really work up. It rejected the 3450 clouds and pulled back. We traded AOI in the morning. I did AOI morning. I bought at 112, sold at 117. Never really could get back on it. It was just choppy there on Marvel AOI. But we will be seeing the focusing there as well into tomorrow. All right. So that was it for today, guys. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.